guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with the teaser trailer for House of the Dragon, the, I guess, prequel of Game of Thrones.
We have 5 other shows, 5 prequels in development that are based on other periods in the history of Westeros.
I'm pretty sure it's a prequel. I have heard about this since season 8 of Game of Thrones has ended. It's got to be going on 3 years that we've been talking about this. We've been through almost 2 years of pandemic quarantine.
It's not a good life for a child.
March will make it 2 years since we shut down the world. Obviously, the world is up and running again, but movie theaters aren't still doing good. And I know a lot of projects have been sidelined. And I gotta assume this is one of them. But honestly, I try to go into these as blind as possible. When it comes to Game of Thrones, I try to stay in the dark. I am not one that reads the books or stuff like that. So when shows and stuff come out, I try to be as little knowledgeable as possible. Like, I didn't know the books going into the show. So when the show ended, I didn't know how the books ended. I still really am not clear on where the books ended. I think they ended around where Jon Snow died or something like that, if I'm correct. That's what people told me back in the day. And as far as I remember, another book never came out. But I love the show, except for season 8. I feel like that is the mass consensus. I know a bunch of people that enjoyed season 8 for what it was. Most of the people I've talked to that enjoyed season 8, though, are people that didn't watch the show from the beginning. When I say that, I mean from when the show aired. When the show originally aired, I started watching it with everybody as it progressed. So I feel like if you watch the show as it progressed and invested years and years into this story and these people and stuff, you feel differently. Most of the friends that I have that enjoyed season 8, or at least didn't think it sucked, were people that rushed through just to catch up so they could be on the hype train. So I feel like they didn't appreciate as much as other people did. And I mean, there's people that watched it and sped through and still hated season 8. And I am not saying season 8 was the worst thing ever. I'm just saying the way that show ended shouldn't have ended that way. It looked beautiful. The battles and the fights were epic and everything was great. It reminded me of Lord of the Rings, epic battles. Like, many episodes in season 8 would have been all-time greatest episodes on any other show. But many people didn't want to see everything go down like that with the Night King, the way the Night King just became pretty much nothing, a one-and-done episode. I just want to jump in and see where we're going. You guys want to be way ahead on shows on the channel, seasons ahead, Patreon link at the end. Dozens of seasons ahead on the shows that we're doing on the channel, and seasons ahead on the shows that you might not even see yet. So check out the link for Patreon. If not, here we go. House of the Dragon, official teaser trailer, HBO Max. All right, we got old school HBO logo. Looks like when Tyrion was going into the tunnels to get playful with dragons. "200 years ago," so it is a prequel, confirmed, the fall of the throne. Dragon.
Kings.
So it's obviously the Targaryens.
Fire.
Targaryens, right?
And blood.
That looked like the Red Wedding Room.
Dreams didn't make us kings.
That sounds...
Dragons did.
That sounds a lot like Charlie from Lost. House of the Dragon. Didn't show much. We get it soon. Could be early. I can't believe I said Targaryen. I'm like, oh, it's the Targaryens. It's Targaryen. I'm not an idiot. I don't know why I said that. I haven't seen the show in a while. Give me a break. But Tyrion, that reminded me of the scene where Tyrion goes into the depths and he's, trying to check out the dragons. We know the scene. You know the scene if you've seen the show. Reminded me of that. I'm assuming that's what it was. The Targaryens are probably going to be a huge part of this. They're obviously the dragon people. And I don't know what storyline they're actually going to do. These things are always weird to me when they do prequels, because in my mind, how epic and monumentous could the events and occasions be if we ended up with what is Game of Thrones? So it's like, I mean, unless dragons are hiding out somewhere and they're going to come back in the future. I know we got the 3 dragons that Daenerys had. In order for prequels to really work for me, it has to like lead up to something that could potentially happen beyond what we've already seen. Otherwise, I dig history lessons. I dig going back and checking things out. It's probably going to look amazingly beautiful. They didn't really show a whole lot. They showed some jousting. It looked like one of the rooms that they showed was the room from the Red Wedding. It looked like the Red Wedding room, but it could just be another castle room. They probably all look very similar, but for some reason it gave me those feels. I mean, it gave me a lot of feels of old school Game of Thrones. I don't know any of the characters. I don't know if we're gonna know any of the characters. Granted, it's 200 years in the past, but it's possible we could see people we know, or at least people we've heard of from the lore of the show. I'm assuming we're definitely going to hear many names that we've heard throughout the storybooks of Game of Thrones, but will we see any faces we actually recognize, like people from the past that have lived forever? Like Melisandre lived for a very long time. I don't know if we ever got a date on it, but people like that could randomly pop up and would make sense. So I'm curious to see how they do it. They said 2022. We don't know when. It could be like January, or it could be December, and it could be a whole year and a half from now. Who knows? All I know, if that's the teaser trailer, probably looking at summer if we're lucky. My guess is 2022 is their way of being very vague, because like I said, it could be anywhere from 3 months to a year and 3 months. So I'm very into it. I'm going to check it out. I'm probably going to react to it. I got to see a little more though. I love dragons. Dragons are good. Dragons are fun. We'll see. First, I'm doing Cobra Kai though, so check it out. You guys want to see more of what I do, full on edited reactions to all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead on the shows you see, dozens of exclusives you don't see, Patreon link in front of me, all full on edited. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.